Hi, I'm Mark Wanamaker, and I'm here at the store today to bring to your attention some issues that often occur here at the store with repair of lamps. Everybody seems to have a lamp at home that requires a little bit of attention. We do provide this as a service here at the store. We can rewire, put new sockets on, we can do a number of issues. But I'm here today to show you how you can simply do this at home and take care of the problem yourself and save a few bucks. This particular lamp has a push button feature. Many different types of sockets. Some have a turn, single turn, some have a three-way turn, so you can put a three-way bulb in it. Others have a pull chain. Some lamps have cord switches on them so that you can turn it on and off on the cord. It doesn't have a socket switch based on this section here. First, I usually like to tell people, check the cord and make sure it's not frayed. Make sure it is quite pliable. Oftentimes cords get very stiff and brittle and can crack and expose the wiring. That can cause potential problems of resistance, and it can lead to fires actually. Sometimes I've had customers come in where their pet has chewed through the cord. So we like to inspect it. I would suggest that you do that also and check it out and make sure that it's in good shape. Otherwise, you'll be redoing the cord, and in order to do that, you'll be pulling the socket off again a second time. So with this socket here, it's a matter of pinching and prying, and that shell comes right off like that. Sometimes I like to take and push some of the wire up into the base so it allows you to extend the wire and gives you some room to work with it. This shell will come off, as will this piece of cardboard. And of course, the first thing I should have mentioned is make sure that you've taken the plug out. So make sure it's not plugged in. So that's going to come off. Now that we've got that socket out, sometimes the factory installation is such that the wire is infused right into the base. Typically, the new sockets will have screw terminals on them like these here. And that's what we're going to use for the new socket. So with this socket here, we're simply going to take and cut this wire off here. And I'm going to snip it off. And then from there, we're going to take and separate the wire like that. We'll take and we'll strip the wire. Oh, about that much right there. There's one. There's two. I'm going to take and turn those. Keep all the, you can see that there's many strands there of the wire. We want to twist those so that nothing is loose and come in contact other than the screw terminals on that socket. So now in the new socket, you'll notice that there's a gold screw and a band, and there's a silver screw and a band. The gold screw actually is responsible for sending the current to the center piece right here. That's your hot lead. That's the incoming current. That's what they'd call line. The silver screw is actually the contact of the shell. So you want to make sure that what they call the polarity is correct. You want to make sure that the flow of the electricity is proper in coming through this socket. How will you know that? If you look on a plug, plugs today are what's called polarized. One blade is much thicker than the other blade. This situation here, the thinner blade is actually the hot lead. That's your load side. So that's the hot wire. This is the neutral side. Well, how do you tell that on the other end here? Well, wiring is set up so that one side of the wire is very smooth on the coating. The other side, I don't know that you can get this on the camera, but it's ribbed. I usually take my thumbnail and run it across and you can feel it. So knowing that, you could actually take from the cord and do the same thing. That being the smooth side, that's the hot side. Hot side goes to the gold screw. Again, it goes to the center. So we're going to take a screwdriver. We're going to back these screws off. Just like that. We're going to find the hot lead, which is this one here because it's smooth. And we're going to take this wire and we're going to put a little loop in it, just like that. And that loop is going to go around the screw. And it's very important that the loop goes around in a clockwise motion. The reason being is that when you go to tighten this down, the screw is going to capture that wire and it's going to pull it down and wrap it around the screw. If we were to do it the reverse way, the screw is going to be forcing that wire out. By putting it clockwise, it wants to pull that wire right around with the force of the screw. And before we put that in, typically you'll want to take and put an overhand knot in the wire. And this is just kind of a safety feature so as not to allow the wire to be pulled out. If somebody were to pull the wire, it wouldn't pull it out of the socket. And again, this here, we're going to take and we're going to put a loop in it. We're going to wrap that around that screw. And then we're going to take and tighten that down. Put a little more tension on that. And there you have it. Now we're going to back this wire back down into here. We're going to take this shell, and this is important because this is going to insulate the contacts so it doesn't come in contact with this shell here. So that's going to come down, it's going to push tight over that, and now that's all nicely insulated. We're going to take the shell and we're going to push that in there, and we're going to lock that down nice and tight, and you'll hear it snap. There you go. Now we're in place, and let's take a look here, and we're going to plug that in. We'll take a bulb. I'm going to do this so we don't blind you. And there we go. All set to go. This particular lamp takes a conventional bulb, has a clip-on shade, and other types have harps, and I'm sure you're quite familiar with them. And that's all there is to changing a socket. We've got all the parts and equipment here to do it if you choose to do it yourself. But again, if you choose not to, we can help you out and do it here for you. Just drop it down here at the service counter, and we'd be glad to help you. Thanks very much.